Okay, TA, so I just took another picture. They said that you guys needed a new one because that one was from last year. There was a lot of, I guess, random people in it that wasn't supposed to be in there. So I just took another one. There's still going to be probably just as many people in there. I don't really know if you're virtual or not, but if you could run to the store and get a virtual reality kit, and then have Tiffany Brooks Browning, it's what, $750? You'll understand a little bit more about what's going on up here. I'm the one that copyrighted and patented the use of virtual reality for law enforcement. They love Tiffany Brooks Browning just the way she is. Somebody who used to do drugs, who got off drugs to be a better mom. Okay, because up here virtually is what it is. Okay, it's like a good video game. It's like virtual reality worlds where, like, I can't even explain to you how tight it is up here. So yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be able to log into this system from the ground virtually, but once you're in here, DEA person, we can put you in where we're at if you have your own virtual reality and use Tiffany's iStem codes for it. But you have to swear to God that you won't make her look like a rat narco informant, and you can't hurt the people that she knows that plays the game with this information. Maybe because she's a billionaire. And see how I just switched to third person? That's because it's somebody else talking out of my mouth. But the thing is that I copyrighted and patented it with a foreign nation called has the updated systems that we're not saying. And I'd say about within our groups of people that we know, we have about 23 people that have died because an agency won't claim Tiffany, partially because she lives in Washington State. And yet they don't do this here. They didn't play this game here. They didn't do narcs here. They didn't do pay informants here. But the main thing is that it mostly came from Arizona. Brother Sean Plumpett and Anthony Cias, who are both felons. They've both been in prison. And they were both in big trouble. And Tiffany thought that her partner up here was LaShawn Plumpett because he's the one that put her in here like 5 years ago, and she didn't know he put her in here through her eyes as somebody to stick up for them in here where we're not, where she's not at, where we're at, or pretend to be her, or whatever it is or isn't that they do up here, which has almost gotten her killed several times. It's gotten other people killed on the streets. It's extremely confusing, but anyways, she thought he hated her. Like, they were really good friends at first, and she lied to him about sleeping with Anthony Cias, which is a huge situation because he didn't know she did. The way he put her in here was on his head, basically. And then, put Anthony Cias in here too with somebody else on their head, and whatever that ended up being, it fucked it up because they scanned in like that. And then when she had sex with AK, it looked like he was having sex with his sister, and it just went worse and worse from there. Like, it looked child abuse and a bunch of fucked up shit allegations. Will Smith looked like he was having sex with his kids. I mean, Tiffany's got emails of saying, like, why are you jacking off your son? Dude, I'm not. That was Twan. Like, Anton Hyde. Or maybe it was Anthony Cias. But it looks like my son on their head because they rescanned my body in to fix it up here or something. And it rescanned in their bodies all together, their brainstems all together, or whatever. Maybe it was for life force. Maybe it was to pretend like they were somebody else. But anyway, this is extremely important, so I'm afraid more than one person is going to get the virtual reality to me, but it's fine if they do, okay? My iStems are supposed to be governed by the CIA or Interpol or someone else because the FBI doesn't know what to do either, because it does peak up to FBI frequencies, but my program that I've tried to keep mine, the savior part of it, which is the second one, this is CIA business overseas. Okay, and it's billions of dollars for our companies and for other dignitaries and stuff like that, and nobody else knows about it, just me. And I believe LaShawn Plumpett died in a motorcycle accident in Arizona, but they led me to believe that he was really still alive, and that I was keeping him alive, because if I died, he would have died, and so would anybody else on my chain on the ground, because of how they scanned me in or out, which they didn't even mean to do that to Tiffany at all. They thought it was someone else named Mandy. So, which was it? Amanda Tessie, which was one of his best friends, because I was at her house and our brain stems were different, or something like that. But anyway, Sending you a new iStem picture without the FBI frequencies or whatever the blue noses in it, because there was 3 blue noses in there. I don't know if you guys could see it or whatever, or if it's real time still for the iris, but anyway, blue noses I thought was FBI, looky, the eyeball E, but maybe it was painted Parmesan, I don't know. I thought black eyes were painted Parmesan, but who knows. Anyways, can you please do this as soon as possible? It is returnable if you do it within 30 days. So whatever this is that you do for me and us, I'm trying to get somebody to be my partner, several people to be my partner in the sky, because I've never been in trouble. They literally did set me the fuck up so hard. Like my therapist either got fired for something or he changed. He didn't want to be my therapist anymore because of the illegal ass shit they did to set me up in here. And the shit that they were seeing because these people were pinging off the wrong people on the ground doing porn, and it just looked inappropriate for a lot of shit. Tanika Brown, Montoya, they turned her in for some child abusey shit and said her daughters made the phone call when, honest to God, if you guys knew Anthony Ciaz, he is the evilest piece of shit to get vindictiveness on anyone. And it's not even him necessarily that's driving his own train to do it. It's the people on his head, because if he gets called a Chimo, then so do they, and they're white, and some of them are law enforcement, and he does live in Arizona. And the program did start with those 3 boys. It was Bo, LaShawn, and Anthony Ciaz. It was Katrina Hayward's ex-boyfriend. And I call Katrina Hayward my sister. She's the only one that knows about this too, but she only knows a tiny bit. Amy Young from Arizona knows a lot more because she's read it, but Amy doesn't know nothing about the game. Or nothing, or that they put me in it, or that they flipped me over to be on their team, or whatever. Amanda Tessie also knows a lot of shit about it too, that I don't know. Anton Hyde is the one that was there on Bamboo Day that was best friends with LaShawn. He's one of the bodies they put through me with an Anthony Ciaz, and then I think either virtually, and then I think either Amanda Tessie or Katrina Hayward, but both of which were not them. It was really Jessica Pace's personality in there, or Sarah's. I don't know her last name. And Jessica Pace also played the game on a computer, I think, with LaShawn. And she's an evil fucking sadistic bitch. I didn't tell her, but anyways, I am dying because of this, because of too many FBI frequencies going in and out of my brain, with all these people being connected all the way around the world, and I'm bleeding out of my pee hole. Off and on, but they can fix it up here electronically, and they're going to give me a new kidney and everything. But anyways, I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm not schizophrenic. If you can make it down here, even up to where my people are, just keep in mind, no matter what you see, no matter what they fucking say, they're lying. Okay, they're lying. They're lying. Somewhere in here, there's people that know for a fact they're lying. They're just afraid to say it because of who's involved. But this is a huge mistake on Portland's side for letting this go on for 2.5 years. What they did through Tiffany's brainstem, Summer Reeves knows about it, Michael Browning knows about it. Everybody else over here in Washington State don't know shit. They've read stuff on Facebook. They said that because they're infiltrating it virtually. Okay, so while the FBI, whoever this is, has no clue why it looks like, Sal Jimenez wrote Rachel Morrow out of nowhere and was like, "Don't ever talk to my baby's mom. She's something bad." Okay, it's because they were pinging wrong of something and they were getting in trouble for stuff. They knew I was connected to them, so they went ham against me because I knew that I can explain to you. They put me on Shane and they could see me talking because they were part of my brainstem. The FBI people from Arizona basically killed them in this game or whatever, or called them out about being Chimos, because up here it looked like they were fucking around with kids to the UE. Okay, but on the syndicate side, the syndicate said whatever they seen, they were just doing porn, but they could see Tiffany underneath there, so they thought it was Tiffany's fault. And if it wasn't that, they could see AK underneath there, Anthony Ciaz, the one who was not supposed to be, whatever, having sex with or fellowing up anybody that was not his wife and should not be around kids. But they thought I was with Anthony Ciaz, and they may or may not have thought I was Katrina Hayward. So it gets really, really confusing. But anyway, you guys came down here, or somebody came down here when I was smoking with my brother, because I've had to do crank a few times for life force loss. And they're like, "Tiffany, why are you smoking crank with your son? I thought your son didn't know you've ever done drugs except pills." I was like, "That's not my son, that's my brother." And they're like, "Oh." And then later I hear them talking to my mom. And I'm like, Carol Browning, I thought you said you're a Christian woman who does not do drugs. Why are you smoking with your son, Robbie? And she's like, what? I'm not. That's my son and my daughter are in the bedroom. I'm in the living room. Because my mom was on my head. And my son was on my brother's head. So just imagine if I was really sitting there with my boyfriend, Twan, and I start making out with him. Tiffany Brooks Browning, what are you doing having incest with your son, Elijah? That's not my son. That's my best friend, Anthony Ciaz, who I'm not friends with anymore. Anton Hyde, LaShawn Clumpett, Buffy Inez, Robert Michael Browning. Those people are all in one origin right now, freaking out. The Yui was crying with me 2 summers ago because Sarah and Mikey were making out on my calendar. Sarah was my doppelganger, like I said, with this Jessica face in it, the personality in it. Yeah, it's illegal. Oh yeah, super illegal. Like water Korean. Super illegal. But I tried to make it legal in Washington State because Sean Clumpett hated me so much because of whatever happened after I lied to him. It ruined his life. Like, it ruined his life. Like, it just kept ruining his life and setting him up for stuff that I didn't know nothing about. And then people up here were playing both sides of the fence because he wasn't here or whatever. And, like, it is so fucking scary because I can have up to 3 people in my body at once. And, like, their hearts will be beating. And, like, when the cops come or whatever, when the cops came, like, they made me run out the back to work, basically. And I had been told in my mind in one area that they had set me up already. But they didn't know it was me they were setting up. It looked like they didn't know it was me underneath there. They were trying to set these boys up or whatever. But, like, when the cops came here at first, I wasn't thinking about that they set me up. I was thinking about, I don't want to go to the fucking hospital. But I was a little bit scared. But I wasn't thinking about why I was scared because I didn't do nothing wrong. The person in my body was thinking about why they were scared and didn't want me to go to jail or the hospital because if I would have got arrested, they would have got arrested up here. And then whatever they were afraid of, they didn't do either. So anyway, I did end up going to schizo clinic, and they did get a bunch of people disconnected. But the problem is that I'm not connected like a normal human being. I'm connected through my eyes virtually, virtual reality. And there's nobody else on the ground that has a sidewinder. And a sidewinder, if you're sitting in my face on the ground, you can see multiple people on the sides of my face. You can sidewinder down and pick somebody up here for questioning and stuff like that. Like, this got intertwined with a DEA narcolepsy program or NARC program, a paid informantry program, a change your identity program, a CPS program that was fucking following Anthony Ciaz, not Tiffany Browning. But for whatever reason, I guess I'm Tiffany Browning and Anthony Ciaz and Anton Hyde and LaShawn Clumpett and Katrina Hayward. Katrina Hayward may or may not have had some reports too because her mom was telling her baby dad, I know you hurt those kids when they were younger. Right? Trying to protect LaShawn Clumpett, her brother, when it was really looking like Anthony Ciaz was doing some inappropriate fellatio to LaShawn's sister or whatever. It's just fucked up, dude, because they did virtual reality porn pinging off AK, and the people that put him in there like that did not know that he was a CPS case, or even necessarily that they were on his head. So anyway, it does have everything to do with CPS. It does have everything to do with ownership. It does have everything to do with the fact that there's not another human being. But these people can sit in my body and talk out of my mouth about what's going on in here, or send virtual messages. So when you're up here, you can send like pictures and videos and thoughts and all kinds of shit. And like I can see it, like, so that was like some yellow thing that went up like that. Like, I can't read what the messages are, so it doesn't stay in my forward frame. So when people visit me, it's like a ghost Jesus, some kind of. But anyways, it was super cool for Homeland Security and a bunch of shit. But I live in Washington State, and you're allowed to look through people's eyes here. You're not allowed to talk about anything else. Okay, so I'm going to send you this video, and I'm going to send you these eye stems, and that's it. And I've never been in trouble. Okay, I've never been in trouble. I've never been in trouble. I've filled in 15 IC3 reports, 2 IC3 reports, CIA reports, and 2 Interpol reports. I filled out a false identity stolen by Tanika Brown report. I should fill out I've stolen your identity, Anthony Ciaz report. They've killed my friends. They killed my lawyer, Dan. They've killed Brian Buck Harris. I think trying to keep Anthony Ciaz alive because whoever's on his head, or maybe he just died on accident when they tried to kill AK because they're both bald. I don't know, but they've killed my friends. and I don't even know for sure if it's on purpose or if it was on accident. They killed Will from Brood. He was that's the other part, like this narc thing. Like I have my neighbors yelling at me, "Run for your life!" Like, cause whatever these boys were doing up here, they don't know I'm under here. I don't think, and it just ends up going down the drain, and it makes me look bad. People are getting their car stolen, thinking that they're my car, or I don't know. Anyways, point is that this is a Universal Bureau of Investigation situation, which I call mine because this reality virtual world is one that I got copyright and patented to never ever happen to anybody else again. They gave me the mark of the beast. If you're a Christian at all, then you'll know what I'm talking about. That's what I got. I can't buy or sell goods without their permission. I can't leave the house without their permission. I can't do nothing without their permission, but yet they're watching me the whole time. And it's not because my kids live here and they think they're in danger, like Manatesses, or any other reason, necessarily. But my daughter don't live with me. She's lived with her dad since she was 7. And my son wants to get off drugs, and he needs his mom. They promised me 2 years ago when they did this to me, because it was illegal as fuck to do that to me, to connect me to these people that I wasn't even friends with. They were the enemy, okay? That if I could just chill for a year, basically, and let them do their alternate community service or whatever it was that was going on. They didn't really say it like that, but that's basically what they were saying. That they would buy me a house at the end of it, and without being a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a co-defendant, or whatever they were saying up here. Or like sticking up for them or whatever, like totally separate entity. Boyfriend, girlfriend, didn't have to marry them, didn't have to do nothing. Because I was not playing the game. They were using my body, they were using my brain cells, they were using me. And they'd been using me for the 3 years before I got off drugs and moved across the bridge. And so I moved across the bridge 2.5 years ago, and you already know it's not supposed to cross the bridge. But it did. Because they sent me back over there to do that to me, to put their bodies through me so they could still do virtual porn with Anthony C. is gone and LeSean Club is gone, and fake their narc program or rat tail program or whatever it is or isn't from either over here or over there. I'm not sure. And then we went all across the globe and all. I mean, it just gets really cool. But anyways, I need people to stick up for me, okay? People are trying to pretend I'm schizophrenic. I ain't schizophrenic. I have multiple profile disorder. Okay, you know what profiles are. Okay, the people, I know that's it. So if you come in here, like you can talk to these people, but then you can't get back to your body on the ground to let yourself know. Like Judge on the ground cannot get back to his body on the ground to know what the truth is, but you can fill out reports at the FBI office in my favor and yours. So that's all I'm going to say, and thank you for helping me. I still have no proof on my computer that anyone's helping me. They've never given me a penny, ever. 2.5 years sitting down here like this, scared of all this shit that these boys have done. Okay? And they do talk out of my mouth. And they did say that at Schizo Clinic. They did say, I feel like I'm scared that I'm going to go to prison for what these guys did, including child abuse, including robbery, including killing somebody. Because it's not just me saying it, it's the people that are attached to my brain stems. Because up here, I can explain it. There's more than one person connected to these cases they didn't sign up for this either. They got brainstem switch over to be different people trying to protect different people. And it is scary as shit. And it is scary thinking that there's a capital murder up in here. And that somebody might look like a rat tail on that situation. I was like, okay, well, I have CIA money. Can we please just, overlook that whole thing since you guys were never allowed to do rat tails in my situation. I've never been in trouble. And whoever may or may not be trying to do that situation ain't here. So, I'm not going to get greenlit gaslit, and this whole program was illegal. Every investigation they've done for the last 2.5 years through my brain stems, now that they're like billions and billions of dollars richer in the FBI and everywhere else, is because of me, because of my sorrows, because of what they did to me. Okay, everything I do comes up on a timeline. If I was to smoke crank, everybody sees it. Because why? Because I got a shield on for paid informancy for some reason, when I didn't agree to be a paid informant. Because they can see what I do with my mouth. And it's not just that. These paid informant helmets are connected to other ones, like the narc one and a read your mind one. And they also had one on me because they thought I got raped and they thought somebody was going to try to kill me. So they were trying to like keep an eye and ear open for the people around me, what was going on or what I was thinking up here and on the ground. And it's just so complicated. But it did to start with LeSean Clumpett and Anthony C.S. And LeSean Clumpett used to live in Portland, but he lived in Arizona, but then he got a motorcycle accident. And Elijah Jimenez is supposed to have that felony expunged because he never would have got it, whatever it is or isn't, if it's even fucking real. Because I bailed him out of Washington jail 2 summers ago, and they promised me a house or whatever, and I could have had a place for him to stay. I could have had a car. I could have bought him a car. I'm a billionaire, okay? So I could have had him everything he needed to have a good mom taking care of him that's clean and sober. And like, cause yeah, I used to be a drug addict, but I'm not a drug addict anymore. I got off drugs to get the fuck away from AK. Honestly, I only did drugs because I hated my fucking life. I didn't know how to be anything else besides a wife and mom. I was raised on the streets of Portland. I was raised on Large Mountain. I was common law married to Sal Cortez for 15 years. My daughter, till my daughter was 7 years old. My son ran away when he was 15 because we were too strict. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I'm a good fucking person. Just because I did drugs for a few years doesn't mean that they have the right to do this to me. They sit here and judge me because I may or may not have brought my daughter to a house where drugs were done once or twice or whatever. But I never did it again because I felt too guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I'm a good fucking person. I'm not a stupid idiot. It's like they were sitting in the living room doing crank, and I bring my daughter over there. The person who did it was a mom too, and her son was in the living room playing video games and had no idea that she even did it on the low over there in Oregon. Anyway, so it's just dumb because they want any excuse to not have my back. But by law, DEA, you have to have my back. Okay, paid informantry, you have to have my back. And ARCs, you have to have my back. FBI, you have to have my back. CIA definitely has my back in Washington State because you guys fucked up in Oregon State, letting this shit go on for this long, getting me greenlit, getting Katrina Hayward's son shot on the streets because of some other bullshit. They thought her son was. It wasn't even her fucking son. It's somebody else. Like, I mean, people have gotten shot, people have gotten killed, people have gotten turned in, false reports. But the thing is, mainly, is that certain people were accused of child abuse because of Anthony Ciaz and the way that we were scanning her out from the beginning, and they thought Tiffany was saying they hurt her daughter. When it was not Tiffany, it was an FBI line that said that to all of them. They called them all Timos on top of AK's head. Not just because they shouldn't have been on his head if he had CPS calls, but because it looked like he hurt a kid with them on his head, and they did not know which one it was. And I don't know if I was on his head too, or if I'm just underneath them that were on his head, because I'm not in there. But anyway, it's a thing. Tanika Brown's children never filled out that report. I swear to God, it was Anthony Ciaz's people getting revenge on us, because we were trying to set up AK, Anthony Ciaz, to get in trouble in here for watching the boy, because he ain't supposed to be around kids. We were also trying to get him in trouble so he would stop having sex with people like Tanika or Tiffany, supposedly, in the alternate reality, without telling them that he's not supposed to have sex with people who have kids, because it pings wrong or whatever it is or isn't when he's around them. It looks wrong to the UE. So anyways, that's a long short of that. If you can make it in my body, you can ask me anything and I can trail, because it'll be somebody else in my body too. So when they're in here, they know my memories. It just updates the system. Down here on the ground, you have a split screen. You can see my world and your world, which they said you can't do that anywhere else, just here with me. And no moms hurt their kids like that. Every report that they may or may not have falsified or misunderstood or whatever up in here has been within the last 2 years since they did this to Tiffany. And she's a good person. She's a Christian. She did not play the game. That's what I'm saying. As soon as she gets away from it, right? She gave up her whole apartment, everything in it, to get the fuck away from them, believing they were going to either pay for her apartment or whatever. Because when I leave it, someone different. And she can't think straight because we're thinking for what's going on here, keeping her fully engaged in whatever's going on here, or whatever. It's hard to explain, but anyways, she's the only one on the planet like this on the ground. Other people have people in their back brains or their chain, so you can go down to the top of their head and talk to them or pull them up here. But if you pull the one on the ground up here, their forward brains have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Not ownership, not nothing. They have no clue what you're talking about. Only the people who play the game. And those are the same people that are going to greenlight me if this doesn't go the right way. like I said, they already greenlit Tiffany twice. They said Tiffany called Bruce, who was someone in prison from Brood. They greenlit Tiffany because they said Tiffany called him. This was 3 years ago. Called him dad of a daughter who had been hurt by someone in the CPS department. And Tiffany's like, I don't even know this motherfucker. I did not call him that. Like, I don't know why they're saying that I called him the dad of a daughter who had been hurt like that. Okay, so does AK Anthony Diaz really have a CPS call on his first baby girl or not? Or his first baby's mom? I don't know her name. But anyways, because I think what they were doing is literally trying to move whatever that was to someone different, so that they could play off his head. I think, but I'm not sure. Or it could have just been whatever they had going on, and from then on out, it looked inappropriate. Or I don't know, man. You guys have to do that part. Pretty sure I know what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm sending you this video, and I'll be sending you a new iStem code. It's basically a mugshot. But you guys have to swear to God that you're not going to use this against me. You're not going to sit here and hurt my friends. Ex-friends or not, pieces of shit or not. I did not sign on to be a rat narco-pain informant. I have more money up here than the FBI itself in Portland. And maybe even Seattle. They're saying. We're talking billions and billions of dollars, okay? So, please help